Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something super simple, but also something we say every single day. How are you? It's a nice, polite question, but let's be honest, it can feel a little boring or robotic sometimes, right? We often ask it without really expecting much of an answer beyond, "Good, you?" But here's the fun part. There are so many other ways you can ask about someone's well-being, ways that feel warmer, more personal, and way more likely to spark a real conversation. By the end of this video, you'll have a whole bunch of new phrases you can use to connect with people on a deeper level. First, let's talk about the basics. The classic, "How are you?" is still useful. If you're talking to a stranger, like the barista at a cafe or a new coworker, it's safe, polite, and quick. But usually, the reply is just, "Good, thanks," or "Not bad." That's fine for surface-level interactions, but it doesn't invite much more. Same with, "How's it going?" or "How are you doing?" They're friendly, but not very exciting. Think of them like plain toast. They do the job, but they're not super flavorful. Now, if you want to show someone you're genuinely interested, specificity is your secret weapon. Instead of a generic, "How are you?" bring up something you know about their life. For example, if your friend had a job interview last week, you could say, "Hey, how did that interview turn out?" Or if your cousin mentioned they were starting cooking classes, you could ask, "So, what have you been learning to cook lately?" See the difference? You're showing that you actually listened and remembered. That makes people feel seen, and the answer you get will usually be way more interesting than a quick, "I am fine." It opens the door for them to share a real update. When you're just chatting with friends or family, you can swap "How are you?" with something more open-ended. Try asking things like, "What's been keeping you busy lately?" Or, "Tell me something good from your week." Another great one is, "What's new in your world?" These questions invite stories, whether it's about a funny thing that happened at the supermarket or a new show they re-obsessed with. And if you want something more laid back and casual, you can try, "How's life treating you?" or "Anything fun going on today?" These sound so natural, lighthearted, and much more inviting than the usual routine. It gives them the freedom to share as much or as little as they want. But what about those times when you can tell someone isn't having the best day? That's when your words really matter. A cheerful, high-energy "How are you?" can feel a bit out of place and might make them feel like they have to put on a happy face. Instead, try something softer, like, "You seem a little quiet. How are things going?" Or, "How have you been holding up?" Even a simple, gentle, "Are you doing okay?" can make a huge difference. These phrases give the person permission to be real with you. And if they do open up, the best thing you can do is just listen. No rushing, no judgment. Sometimes, just being asked sincerely is exactly what someone needs to feel supported. Now, let's switch gears to professional settings. In the workplace, it's all about finding that balance between being friendly and staying professional. A great strategy is to connect without getting overly personal. For instance, on a Monday, you might ask a coworker, "Did you get up to anything nice over the weekend?" Midweek, you could try, "How's your week shaping up so far?" Another excellent one is, "Got anything exciting on your plate today?" These kinds of questions keep the vibe professional, but still show genuine interest. And as a bonus, they sometimes open the door for teamwork or offering support on a project. Okay, let's run through a few quick scenarios to see this in action. Imagine you run into a neighbor you see every now and then. Instead of the usual, you could say, "Hey, all good with you?" It's short, friendly, and just right for that kind of casual encounter. Now, for a friend who you know has been stressed lately, a more thoughtful question would be, "How have you really been?" This gives them the space to be honest if they want to. What if you're starting a Zoom meeting with colleagues? Try something like, "Hope everyone's week is off to a good start. How's the team feeling today?" It's inclusive and sets a positive tone. And for that old friend you haven't seen in years, ditch the small talk and go for, "It's been forever. What's been happening in your life?" It's direct, warm, and cuts right to the good stuff. See how the right question really depends on who you're talking to and the context? So, yes, "How are you?" works just fine, but you now have a whole toolkit of alternatives that can make your conversations warmer, deeper, and more memorable. It all comes down to showing real interest and letting people feel noticed. Here's my challenge for you. This week, try swapping out your usual "How are you?" for one of these alternatives. Just pick one or two and see what happens. Notice how people respond. You might be surprised at how much more they open up. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite alternative to "How are you?" Drop it in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more tips on communication and connection. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.